Hi guys and welcome to TechteamGB. In this video we're going to be giving you a bit of a tour of the room that I spend most of my time in, the room that I game in, the room that I edit in, the room that I test a lot of the stuff that I do reviews on in, and kind of give you a bit of a tour around the room you see in the live streams every week. So let's take a look. So let's start off with the desk that I use the most. This one is kind of my main desk. It's the DIY Desk Project PC, if you remember it. It still has the same three 1080p monitors, with the central one being 144Hz for maximum gaming. I have tried to do a few things with it over time, just trying to switch monitors and stuff like that. But with the monitor arm that I have here specifically, it's a little bit difficult with the sort of triple monitor setup. So still try to change a few things, but yeah, it kind of comes and goes. In terms of the peripherals that I have, the main controller that I use is the Steam controller, which is pretty much only for playing Rocket League. I do have a couple of other controllers on the other desk I'll show you in a second, which I occasionally swap over for playing things like GTA, just for driving and flying and stuff like that. But in terms of kind of keyboard and mouse peripherals, so the keyboard is still a Cooler Master Keys Pro L. Still love that thing to pieces, although I am using a Razer, I think it was the Chroma V2, or rather the Ornata. Either way, it's one of the Razer wrist rests that comes with one of the Razer keyboards. In terms of the mice, I use multiple. I have a Logitech MX Master for my daily use, editing and just general sort of web browsing mouse, and then I have the Razer Naga Trinity as my kind of main gaming mouse, just because the hand feel, the weight is quite nice for me personally, and I really like having all the buttons on the side for lots of good uses. In terms of the rest of the setup and the system itself, it is a Ryzen 7 1700X overclocked to 3.8 GHz with a Strix GTX 1080. Also got 32 gigs of RAM and a ASUS Crosshair 6 Hero board, a Cooler Master Neptune 120 cooler and a Corsair ML120 fan, as well as a Cooler Master V750 power supply, two HyperX Fury 240 gig SSDs, and two both Seagate drives. One of them is a Firecuda, one of them is a Barracuda. One of them's for editing, one of them is for games and all that sort of stuff, and a few custom cables, but otherwise it's kind of the main gist of it, and obviously a lot of RGB. So this is the most recent desk addition to the room. This one is the DIY gaming desk, if you remember that one, and it still basically has the same sort of stuff on it. Right now I have the SteelSeries Rival 310 and the Cooler Master Keys LPBT, which is quite a nice keyboard. I would like to see some backlighting on it, but otherwise it's nice enough, and also an Overclocked UK desk mat, because why not? I do actually have a couple of controllers here, as this is the machine that I do my sort of multiplayer gaming on with my partner, stuff like Castle Crashers and general side-scroller platformers. I have the MSI GC30 controller, along with a standard wired Xbox controller as well, which works perfectly fine. In terms of audio, I did used to use the Corsair Void, the original one, which is still hiding back here, but since I reviewed the SteelSeries Arctis Pro, I'm now using the Arctis Pro wireless over here because I can, so why not, right? I do also have my sort of camera battery charging station, which I actually need to switch out the camera battery as it's dying, but that's kind of where I do that, just because it's now not on the floor, which is nice, as it used to be. So yeah, also the chair that I have here is the Noble Chairs Epic. The chair that I have on the sort of main desk is the Noble Chairs Icon series, and then the final gaming chair in the room is a DX Racer Iron series, which is probably the oldest one in the room, but obviously been getting to review a lot of gaming chairs does mean that I get to, use a lot of gaming chairs in the office, which is kind of a nice luxury. I would also mention the system that is down here that powers this actually 3440 by 1440 ultra wide setup is actually relatively underpowered for the display, but is an i5 6600K, a GTX 1066 gig, as well as multiple SSDs and hard drives, because I didn't have the right one at the time, and whatever reasons. Also 16 gigs of RAM, a Cooler Master Sidon 120mm cooler, it's a thin rad one to fit in the case, and also a Cooler Master, I think it's a G series 500 watt power supply, but feel free to check the ITX build guide as it's basically the same PC. And in the darkest corner of the room is the test desk and the test PC. The monitor that's here doesn't change too much, as I tend to review most of the monitors upstairs with the underdesk PC now, but occasionally it does. But this one is an AOC U2879VF, very nice 4K display, great for testing GPUs, is 4K and it can run multiple resolutions on it. In terms of the peripherals that are here, these tend to not change too much, again because I review most of them upstairs nowadays, but the one that I have here is the HyperX Alloy FPS, the SteelSeries Rival 700 and the SteelSeries RGB mouse mat. The system that's here currently anyway, which does change almost every day, I think is an RX 580 because redeeming game codes, and an Intel i7-7820X. I've got the Corsair H115i Pro on here for cooling it, because I was using this to render a lot of my older videos to save some space on my NAS, going from about 4 terabytes or 4.5 terabytes of footage down to about 2.5 terabytes. So a decent space saving. I think this has 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM, and otherwise a couple of SSDs, namely I think a Kingston HyperX Savage 240 gig, and actually a Western Digital Red 6 terabyte drive because that's what I had available at the time, and I think an XFX, 750 watt power supply that's been in the Phanteks N3 Evolve for quite a long time now. I do have a fair few desks, don't I? They all do have their uses, and it is actually quite nice to have variety in where I can sit and what I can use hardware wise. So yeah, it's quite nice. That's pretty much it for this video. If you have any suggestions for any improvements to the room or my carpentry skills, then feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, if you want to support me making these videos, then feel free to take a look at the Patreon link in the description down below, where you can support me directly, or the Amazon and Overclockers UK affiliate links, which I'm sure you all know about. You can also check out the merch, which I'm actually wearing today, and it's actually really comfy. Feel free to check that out if you fancy, and obviously if you are new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button, check out some of the other videos over here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, we'll see you all in the next video and on the live streams on Thursdays.